Hola, y Tim, y seja bem-vindo ao Hiram's Vinyl, seu simpático home do Barrio. Or, what's up, it's Tim, here at Hiram's Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy. That was my horrible attempt at Portuguese. Why am I speaking Portuguese? Brick hit me in the head and I forgot who the hell I was? No. Well, maybe, but that's neither here nor there. I'm doing a contest entry at the very last minute. I mean, like, I'm late. It is what it is. This week sucked. For my buddy Gus, Gustavo. He has a channel over in Brazil. His name is Guz69. We're going to leave a link down below. You know the drill, how I do it. Check him out. So, he just hit 213 subs a few weeks back and was celebrating. And I loved it because, one, it wasn't like 200, 300, 400. It was a unique number, and I like those. But Gus is a buddy of mine, you know. He actually had a channel. I think it still is up, but he doesn't do as much on it. Where him and a partner of his did a lot of music reviews and talk about music, but it was in Portuguese because they were, you know, they're in Brazil. And they showed a lot of Brazilian music, a lot of Brazilian metal, as well as other things as well. So it was really nice to see him kind of venture out, and you know, English is a second language, but he speaks it better than me. So that being said, I really want to support him, give him some love, make sure everybody goes and checks him out. Yes, he's a metal guy, but he listens to so much more. And I'm going to kind of run the gambit of genres with my answers. So, like I said, 213, 213, you'll see how they play out. So the two, show me two covers, not just any cover, but a cover, like a cover song, and the original artist. He preferred not to go live, but it would accept it if you had to. I didn't. I tried to avoid that. So try to get a little different, show a couple genres. The first one, we all know these guys, right? I mean, they did all right. I mean, sold an album too, right? It's the Beatles' Revolver. We know it, we love it, we understand it. The song in question is Eleanor Rigby. It's been covered a lot. But the cover that I pulled is from Vanilla Fudge. Whoa. This is a psych classic. If you are interested in dipping your toe and figuring out what the hell psych rock is all about, this is a must. And the nice thing is that you can probably find it $10 all day long, if not cheaper. This is probably even a $5 staple. You know, there's multiple pressings of it that you can find fairly cheap. I have a couple. This one's the cleaner of the two, but I think my other one's a first press, but it's a little beat. But I love this album. Drips with just, there's a nice soul element to it. There is a huge psychedelic just trippiness about it that I absolutely adore. So, Eleanor Rigby, originally by the Beatles, covered by Vanilla Fudge. The second cover, this is James Taylor. I'm not a huge James Taylor fan. I respect his music, and there are a few songs that I like. But this was the first one that jumped into my head because it was such a departure from where it started and where it ended. So the song in question is Fire and Rain. This is on the James Taylor album, Sweet Baby James. Like I said, not a huge James Taylor fan, but I have a couple of them. Sorry, my dog is trying to get into the shot, and she doesn't need to. Ma'am, lay down. She thinks it's playtime, and it's late as hell. What I'm listening to, and what I'm referring to as the cover, so I get the glare out of there, is Badlands. Badlands, this is their second album. This was the essentially a super group. It was formed by Jakey Lee after he left Ozzy, after the Ultimate Sin situation, and just put together two monster albums before, and they were working on a third before the untimely passing of Ray Gillum. And unfortunately, these are getting really hard to find because of licensing issues and questionable moves by one Mr. Gillum. But anyway, they cover Fire and Rain, and it is absolutely killer. Jakey Lee is one of those few guitarists in my mind that, at least in me, that can do no wrong. He proves it on this album time and time again. He's proved it in his career, from this to, I think it was Red Cartel, to obviously Ozzy. He just did a phenomenal job. So check out Badlands. They have 2 official albums out. There's a 3rd one where they kind of make up some lyrics. It was an album called Dusk. It's kind of the demos that finally saw light of day. But the 2 albums, Voodoo Highway and their debut, killer stuff. So, 1 second. Sorry about that. I just did a quick pause as opposed to doing some editing because, like I said, I'm like, and she's teething. I mean, like I said it before, she's, what are you, about 6 months? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But like all the big teeth are coming in. I chew on stuff too. I get it. The one drummer, the name of them all. Show one drummer and 3 different projects that the drummer in question has been a part of. I cheated. What are you gonna do? There's so many different ways. There's so many different drummers that you can go with this. And then some people don't like this guy. Some people don't like this band. I do. It's my channel. Make fun of me. I don't care. Blast me in the comments. I got thick skin. I could take it. Dave Grohl. And I say I cheated because it was kind of a layup, right? I mean, Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters. But I didn't pull Foo Fighters. Ha, 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 ha. So Dave Grohl, obviously from Nirvana, was the drummer that helped bring them to the forefront. Well, it wasn't like he was his for doing, you know, his lightning strikes in a bottle, but, you know. So there you go. You got Dave Grohl. Obviously went on to form Foo Fighters, but he also played a very intricate role in the recording, preservation story of Sound City. And this comp, the reel-to-reel Sound City. If you're not familiar with this documentary, it's actually really good. He goes back to the kind of the roots of Sound City. That's where Nirvana recorded Nevermind. You know, that's a lot of different people recorded there. The 80s glam metal scene was huge there. You had the 70s with like Buckingham Nicks. You had Fleetwood Mac. You had Rick Springfield put that place on the map. And they had seen some better times, and newer equipment had rolled in, and Pro Tools and this and everything else. And actually, they were going to close, like for the 2nd time, but it was going to be for good. It was definitely going. And Dave bought the board and preserved it, and painstakingly had it moved to his home studio, where at which point he invited friends and people who would record there over to his house and create magic on the spot, which ultimately led to this album. And you have so many people coming through there. You have Stevie Nicks, Rick Springfield, you have Corey Taylor, Josh Homme, Paul McCartney, Trent Reznor. I mean, the list goes on and on. The McCartney one is actually Nirvana complete without Kurt Cobain, but Paul McCartney. So just some great stuff. So Grohl plays on a lot of that. Drums, guitar, you know, whatever it needed to be done. But the 3rd one I'm going to show is a unique thing, and it's called Play. So Play was this idea that Dave Grohl had kind of come up with to kind of support not just, you know, younger musicians, and I think a lot of the proceeds went to organizations like that. There she goes, playing with her toy. Because, you know, it's not after midnight where I'm at right now. But anyway, yes, sweetie. So he had this grand scheme idea, and he kind of wrote this prog song. It's 21 minutes, and if I take it out, you can see he plays. This is instrumental, by the way, and he plays all instruments. And some of the instruments, like guitar, drums, keyboard, he knows very well. Some he didn't know that much at all, but he challenged himself. It's the layout of the studio and all the different things he played. So, and it wasn't like he decided, well, in the 19th minute, he missed a snare and that was the end of it. Or, hey, the piece calls for 3 different drum sounds, so I need to use 3 different drum sets. And I'm just gonna, okay, stop tape and whatever. The idea was he took one take, not necessarily the first take. So what that means is that if his 21 minute song, he messed up a minute 19, he was starting over on that particular take. and he had 7 tracks run. So once he got through it and it was good, and, well, at that point, 21 minutes, you kind of take what you get. He accepted it. So that was a unique idea, and like I said, proceeds went to help out stuff. And say what you want about Dave Grohl, but he has been a very big champion of kids getting in their garage, making a bunch of noise, and figuring it out. And who knows, maybe changing the world. And then lastly, show me 3 covers with creatures. We don't want to repeat. So for those of you who thought you were just going to pull out 3 zombies and be out the door, he went 3 different ones. So Gus, let's get to the metal, because they got some cool ones, right? I mean, where would you be without Eddie? I mean, he's the zombie, right? He is probably one of the most iconic creatures of metal. I mean, there's a plane named after him. Who wouldn't want to fly on Ed Force One? I would, in a minute. I trust Dickinson to fly me anywhere. But not just that. I mean, see, that's metal, right? You see that. You don't even know what genre it's in, and you're going to go, that's metal. This wonderful 3-headed dragon, pseudo-hydra evilness that Yngwie Malmsteen is just blasting to bits with his guitar, saving the world. And where would you be without the demon telling us, stand in line, because you are the last? My beat ass cover of this. Every time I see that cover, it pisses me off. It is what it is. Gus, I love watching your channels, or your videos. You really do have such a passion for music. I was lucky enough to get a package a while back from Gus. He sent me some singles, and he sent me some Brazilian music. And it wasn't just like Brazilian metal, which is great. I love that kind of stuff, and I love being able to explore. But he actually just included a CD of guitarists, and some of it was more, picking style, and maybe more blues, or some of it maybe more ambient or whatever. But it just he has such an infectious attitude about learning and loving music. It really is infectious. He really does bring his passion to the camera. So check him out. Gus, I'm sorry I got to this so late. Please forgive me. I know I'm beyond the deadline. Don't care. I just want to support you, brother. Hopefully you are being safe and well there in Brazil. Hopefully everybody is. So as you can see, real quick update. I'm still here, so that means everything is okay. But I'm gonna do a proper update here in the next couple days. I got some things cooking. I got some things I gotta get done. But wanted to jump on this before it's too late. Love you all. Please check out Gus's channel below. Talk soon. Peace.